everyone. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. I hope you're having a wonderful New Year's. Happy New Year's to you. And I'm excited about the changes and the things that we want to do. People have been calling me, people have been talking to me about, this year I'm going to do this, that, and the other. And these things are good. It's always good to have a vision of what we want to do differently. Because sometimes when you just do the same thing over and over, we get in a rut. So I think goals are good. And what are goals? First of all, goals are something that we want to obtain. Now, first of all, I want to tell you that what I'm talking about right now is not something that I've read off of the internet or I got it off of somebody else's website. I just want to let you know that these are things that, since my weight loss journey, that I have encountered, and I just want to share them with you. And maybe you could pick something out that could inspire you to be better, or maybe you have something you could email me and say, hey, Dorcas, this works for me. This year, before I get started though, I really want to have more interaction, and I'm planning on doing some different things because I got calls and people say, we need more accountability. And my website does not really do that. Where that, if a person is struggling with eating, how can we get in touch with each other? So these are some of the things that I plan on doing for 2020 so that we can be more accountable to each other in truth. If we mess up, as what we call mess up, then it's okay to tell the truth about, what, I ate a whole cake or whatever we've done. And without judgment or prejudice, we try to help each other get back on track. So these are just some of the things, and I appreciate you all telling me some of the things that you desire on the website. I know I started with the grief thing and I didn't finish it. I started with taking care of our parents, caregivers, and I didn't finish that. So what I want to do this year is be more focused, and I'm going to use notes because I think if I use the notes, I think I could get more done so that we could stay on track, so that I can stay on track. So I have notes in front of me. I don't know how it's going to come out, but I do have notes in front of me. So setting new goals. What does that mean? We really want to do something different, and we have it in our mind that this is what I'm going to do in 2020. I've heard weight loss. People want to be a better person. They want to spend more time with their families. I want to create a budget for myself. I want to get closer to God. I want to be more sensitive to other people's needs and not be so critical of what they're going through. And I think I'm pretty good at that. But sometimes if somebody is whining or it seems like they just can't get out of a rut, my tolerance is really not good. But as I understand that I've been on this weight loss journey since 2015, and when you can't get out, you're trying to get out, but you can't get out. And so maybe I'm not whining to people, but I'm struggling in my mind, wondering what is really going on. So if I struggle because things are not happening as quick as I want them to, then I have to be sensitive to the next person that have been struggling and can't come out also. Come on, we can do it. Yeah, we have all these cheerleaders in life, don't we? People will, yeah, come on, you can do it. Just let go. Have you ever heard somebody say, let it go, get over it? What happens when we're going through things in our own individual lives and it takes a while to let go? What does let go mean? How do I let go? Could somebody help me? And I think people can give us tools and we can be inspired, but until we dig down deep inside of us, we will still be confronted with things that we need to let go. So I want to be better at that this year. I want to do some different things this year. I'm get in a cab and I'm going to go to physical therapy for my back. I want to go to senior citizen community centers. And not just one. I want to go and I just want to see and I want to sit with people because I love people. I thrive off of people. I mean, and I can't explain it why. I can't tell you why. It's just who Dorcas is. In the core of my being and who I am, I love people. And so these are things that have happened to me since I have been here in Arizona, because I've really seen what it is to be with a disability. I've heard people say, it's no such thing as having a disability. Come on, get over it. Wait until, no, I don't want you to wait until, but it's sometimes we are so judgmental and critical of the struggle of someone else, and it's simply because you're not in the struggle. You're not in that particular struggle. But we all have struggled. So I think that if it's, we need to consider being more sensitive to other people. And so this is what I want to do. And so I figured, okay, Dorcas, I'm kind of getting tired of the computer scene. I love it. I'm excited about learning new things, and I'm constantly learning new things. I research stuff for my weight loss. I'm doing carbs and sugars and calories, and that excites me. But as far as just to keep working here in my office, I want to get out and be around people. So these are things that I'm planning to do. So these are new goals, right? But how am I going to reach these goals? I don't know what your goal is. You know what your goal is. So why do we make goals, set goals, and then we work on them for a little while, and then we revert or go right back to the same behavior? That's what I want to talk about. Starting and not finishing. And where is the finish line? When we make a goal, are we just looking to start and find a finish? Or is this goal going to develop into something bigger than who we are or what we do? I think sometimes we get in our mind, if I could lose 20 pounds, that's not me because I need to lose way more than 20 pounds. But we set goals, if I could just lose 20 pounds. And then what happens is, and I have lost 20 pounds on this weight loss journey, but what happens is, if there is no commitment in what we are doing, we will revert and go back to it. And so not only commitment, but we have to educate ourselves and that we're trying to do. So when I was looking at my weight loss journey, I've had ups and downs, ins and out. I've cried over my journey. I've been mad over my journey. I've been upset over my journey. I have been disgusted and just all of those things with my journey, because I thought in my mind that by now, oh my goodness, by now I would be down to a certain weight. It didn't happen like that. So what happens in the middle when you start a new goal, whatever it is? It could be being a better person. And then all of a sudden, you got those days and it's good, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody cusses you out or somebody offends you and you just handle it. You handle it. And then next month come, you handling it again. And then the next month come, somebody does the very same thing to you and you go ballistic. And then you go back and then you say, I was really trying. What happens when we try and still mess up? And I think that's what my commitment was laying down and thinking about the exercises that I've done in the bed, not being able to lift my leg at first, and now being able to lift my legs, not being able to sit down like I can sit down now, not having the clarity of my mind. My mental state was just up and down, in and out, because of all of the clutter that was in my brain. And so how did you stay focused for these many years? And the only thing that I can really tell you is I pressed into God. And not only do you press into God, but God will give you the grace to do what you need to do. But you're going to have to be the one to do the work. And see, so many times we want somebody else to do the work. And if we don't have a strong commitment and a strong persuasion and an assurance that we're going to get to where we're going, when obstacles and things come our way that seems like hindrances, we will revert and say, you know what, it's not worth it. And I've said it many of times on this journey. But because there was a commitment down on the inside of me, I chose to get yourself up, Dorcas. Just get up and keep going. But I haven't lost no weight in a year. You said that you wanted to be healthy. And see, that's another thing. If we're just on a journey for like weight loss, let's take weight loss because that's what I'm dealing with. If you're just wanting to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, but you don't want to be healthy, you just want to get on some quick fix and get the weight off, I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to work. But if you want to be healthy, and I'm telling you, I want to be healthy. And so what I do, and I have a saying, you have to educate before you can legislate. So I'm constantly educating myself to see what is it that I can do differently to try to get where I'm going. Where are you going, Dorcas? I'm trying to be healthy. Now, within that, just dealing with that, being healthy, weight loss, there has been many disappointments. It wasn't only the scale. You know, when I go to the doctor's office and I get up on the scale and oh my God, I've gained 2 pounds. Not lost, I've gained 2 pounds. Those 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds was leading me right back to 400 pounds from where I came from. So when I would leave out of there, even though I wouldn't be saying something to people, I was devastated because I realized that you're going back where you were. Now, I'm going back where I was, but I'm doing the same thing that I was doing when I was losing weight. What happens in the middle when you're trying your best and everything seems to go wrong? What happens to our goals? Do we abandon them because it's not working? Do we say forget it because it's not working? Or do we have a deep commitment? And are we persuaded that I am trying to be healthy? What does healthy look like? I want to be able to eat and enjoy food and understand food. I was talking to someone on the phone and I was saying you got to understand labels. You got to know how to do your carbs and your sugars. And you got to know how to divide. You got to know 1,200 calories if you want to lose weight. 1,500 no more. 2,000 if you want to maintain. But you got to go out there. You have to do something. You have to go out there and look on the internet yourself. Google. How do I maintain a healthy lifestyle? We have no excuse. None of us have to go to the library. Every one of us have something in our hand, a tool. And when I get in my room at night, this is what I do. I say, okay, Google, how many calories is in broccoli? It'll tell me. Okay, how many carbs? It'll tell me. And then what I'm doing, I'm seeing, okay, Dorcas, are you eating enough calories? What causes you to eat less calories? What is it that will allow your calories to increase, without jeopardizing your carbs? So protein, and I just found out different things that, okay, I can boost my calories here and keep my carbs at a certain thing, and then I started losing weight again. But nobody can do your work. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're making a goal of any kind, are you willing to work it? Work takes discipline. So that's why I'm saying, why do we set goals and we don't want to work them? If you set a goal, and I was telling somebody, I said, if you're setting a goal to lose weight, you have to be careful what you bring in your house. Now, if you're married and you got children and you got a husband and you got a dog and you got a cat and you got whatever, then you still got to try to be cognizant of what you put in your mouth. So maybe you can't do a Dorcas thing because Dorcas is not married. She don't have a cat. She don't have a dog. It's just Dorcas. So when Dorcas shops, Dorcas is shopping for Dorcas. And there's times that I bring in stuff that I want to eat and not feel guilty. But then I don't stay there. And so these are things that we have to say. Am I committed to the change? And do I want the change for only a short period of time? Or do I want to maintain my change? That's why our weight go up and down. Because sometimes, not all the time, that we're not willing to maintain what we've already done. And I'm telling you, and I got to tell you this, at my birthday party, I had so much fun. And I was saying, God, okay, I don't really know everything that we're going to be eating, but this is my birthday, and I'm going to eat. It ain't about broccoli. It's not about baked chicken. It's not about the grill. It wasn't about, I was going to enjoy myself. And I did. But this is what I want to tell you. In the back of my mind, I understood you haven't lost any weight this year. But I was going to enjoy myself. And I did, just like I said. But here's the deal. They brought out a cake this big birthday cake. And I hadn't seen the cake. And I said, oh, you guys should know. And the reason why I was saying that, because I was thinking about the sugar. I wonder how much sugar they put in there. Because I'm telling you, when you really start working your stuff will be in you. And so anyway, they brought the birthday cake out, and it was lavender. And lavender is one of my colors, and my bedroom is lavender. And so I'm looking at this cake, and it says, Happy 65th birthday, Dorcas. And I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, wow. And I'm wondering, how in the world did they get this color for a cake? And so I'm looking at the trims and edges and everything. And they said, okay, they wanted me to cut the first piece. All of a sudden, there was something written on the cake that I didn't see that was at the bottom of the cake. At the bottom of that cake, there was a saying that just took me for a loop. Because on this cake was not only Happy 65th birthday, Dorcas, but it said, Push your foot up against mine. When I read that, something leaped inside of me. Now you might say, why? Push your foot up against mine. What does that mean? That was the beginning of my journey. When I was in my doctor's office with my doctor. And those were the words that she said to me. And some people were from out of state. And they were like, well, what does that mean, Dorcas? And I really can't explain it. But this is what I can say. I was so desperate that day. I needed somebody, anybody, to help me. I wasn't looking for help from my doctor. And she was the one. And when she was helping me put on my shoes, she said, push your foot up against mine, Dorcas. And I took those words because something leaked inside of me. And I was like, somebody gave me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Dorcas, you can get up. I know you've been trying and trying and trying and trying. I know you're concerned about your weight. I know that this doctor, another doctor, said, girl, you can't lose no weight. You can't move. And so when he told me that, I accepted defeat. But when my doctor told me, push your foot up against mine, Dorcas, she was helping me put on my shoes. Not only that, but she told me, this is what I want you to do. So with a goal, there needs to come instructions. And so I was sitting there, and all I heard was, Dorcas, in my own mind, in my own spirit. Nobody else heard it around me. You gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. And that's all I knew. I knew I had to keep going. So when the party was over and all the food was left there, I said, Marty, we're gonna eat this food. I said, you're leaving next week? This food got to leave with you. It's got to go. It's got to get out of here. I said, because I got to keep going. It was at that point that something jarred me to remind me how hard that I had worked, and it reminded me of my commitment. My commitment to God, my commitment to Dorcas, and my commitment to my doctor. When she told me what to do, I said, okay. So if you don't have a firm, solid persuasion about your marriage, when your husband starts acting up, and Joe Blow comes along and start talking junk to you, if you're not committed, a lot of times we stray from the commitment. If it's your wife or your husband, your children, not committed to family, not committed to the things that we do, not committed to life. That's how come people can take a gun and shoot you down, because then they have no commitment. They don't value who they are, so they're definitely not going to value who you are. So, and I'm going to be stopping right here. But why do we set goals? And why do they fail? I told you in the beginning, this is not from a website. This is from Dorcas's personal experience. We fail when we get discouraged. We fail when we don't get the accolades. Oh, Dorcas, you're losing weight. Oh, you look good. We fail when we look at a goal and understand that, like weight loss, you get the disappointments. My hair has came out. The sagging skin. So when I would look at these things, I would say, you know what? Forget it. This is not worth it. It's not working. But my commitment was not to my hair, yet I'm working on my hair. My commitment was not to all these things. I committed to weight loss and being healthy. So I started looking up things for my hair, for vitamins and different things, because now I have another situation. Sagging skin and doing different types of exercise. The exercises that I can do. So you got to do what you can to make it work. Only you can make your goals work. I can talk to you. I can pray for you. I can love you. I can inspire you. But if you don't have a deep commitment to what you're trying to do, 9 times out of 10, it will not work, because we will start and we will finish. So people ask me, well, how long are you going to be doing this? My thing is until they close the coffin. You feel me? Because I want to be healthy. You know, I'm on blood pressure medicine. And so now what I do is I try to go in my room and I breathe. Or I just lay there and I empty my mind. Or I'm listening to some scriptures, or I'm listening to some soft music with no words, or just stopping and not picking up the phone and taking a lot of other people's problems and just starting to try to relax. And when I say empty my mind, I don't mean just like nothing's there. I'm saying that I just take my whatever my worries are and I cast them upon God. And these are things that we can do to help ourselves to be better. If you want to lower your cholesterol, you got to stop eating certain things. I mean, if you want to get your blood pressure, we got to stop being so stressed out. And really, I'm not preaching to you because I'm not there. I'm working on it because I can get so hypertensive so quick. And now I'm trying to learn how to manage my emotion. And emotions is a very key factor to our weight loss also, or any goals that we set. I'm going to come back and we're going to keep talking about this for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to go on to something else. But if you're going to set goals, and I know a lot of us have, first count up the costs. Are you committed for the change? Not to the change, for the change. What will it take for you to get where you're trying to go? That's even in business. There's some things I need to do. I need to get on a budget. It's not that I don't have the money to do it. It's just that I need to be more disciplined in what I do, in my spending. And I may not have a lot to spend, and then I may have a lot to spend. But if I'm disciplined, then I got to know you make some, you spend some, but you need to keep some. And these are the things that I've set for myself this year. And I certainly hope you all be blessed in 2020. And as you set new goals, keep one word in mind. And that word is commitment. Am I committed for this change to happen? I love you. This has been Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. You be blessed, and we'll talk later. Bye-bye.